is everyone doing this morning? I hope that your day is off to a wonderful, fantastic start. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. Not your first time here, hi, welcome back. If you enjoy any and all things makeup related, I also throw in some book stuff here and there. Definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button, click the little bell so you'll be notified of all my future uploads. As well as if you also want to join this dumpster fire of a family, go follow me over on Instagram, trying to post a little bit more there. So I definitely welcome you to go follow me over there. But let's go ahead and let's dive on into today's video, which is testing out more new makeup. Remember how I said I purchased a lot from Sephora? I purchased a lot from Sephora. It's a lot. So we still have another day of testing stuff, and I have more stuff in the box. It's not a lot of stuff that's left in the box, but we can make it work. So what are we testing in today's video? We are going to be testing a lot of new products. So first of all, I know this right here isn't new. They've been out for a while, but these are the cheek clappers. I just got more shades in it. I got, what is this? Fat Ass, P-H-A-T. And then I got this one right here, which is Freaky Peach. I already owned 3. I need to get one more to own all of them, but it was sold out, which made me sad. To dive into, okay, so also not new. I was going to say dive into this. This also isn't new. It's the Huda Beauty setting powder in the shade Pound Cake. This apparently, according to everyone, seems to be the end-all be-all for like setting powders. I have never actually tried it, so I'm going to try it today. And then the last thing that's not necessarily new, but it's new to me, is I got this Cos Concealer. I have so far been really loving like Cos products. I haven't tried a lot though, but like the ones that I have tried, like I genuinely like. So I was like, well, let's just branch out a little bit more. Then we have a couple of things from House Labs. So first off is I do have the bronzer. This is in the shade Light Level 2. And then I got their little highlighter. This is a Bio Radiant powder highlighter. I think it's like a baked gelée type of highlighter, I think is how they described it. Then for like some cream products, a couple of new things I got are from Rose Inc. So first I got is this bronzer that looks really nice and light, but also very warm. So we'll see how well that goes. And then we have from them like this little cream highlighter, super cute. And then finally for the eyes, we will be testing out the Pat McGrath Mini Eyeshadow Palette and Midnight Voyage. Okay, all right. Well, if you guys are excited to see what look we create, what I think of these products, then definitely keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the eyes. We're going to do some swatches of the palette. So we have this shade right here, which is Skin Show Divine Glow. We have Entrapment. We have Sunset Bronze. Then we have Extreme Aubergine, Eleganza, and last is Night Creature. So we only have like 2 mattes to work with, which I feel like I could maybe get it to work. So first I'm just going to take a really large fluffy brush. This is my Jaclyn Hill JH30. We're going to go into that light bronze shade right here that is called Entrapment. So I'm just going to take that on my fluffy brush. Make sure to tap off any of the extra and start to work that as an overall transition type shade, which I don't know, I feel like on camera doesn't look like as good. You know what? The sun is like glaring down on me and now I'm like, ugh. I wonder if I can fix that. So I'm going to take like a little bit more of like a dense type brush. I'm going to go into that exact same shade. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to like really focus it lower down, not as high up. So that way it adds a little bit of like depth and dimension without having to add another shade, because unfortunately we only have one other shade. And I want that for the outer corner as well. So So then for the outer corner, and just to dip, just ever so slightly, we're going to take Extreme Aubergine, which is the darkest matte we have. A little bit kick up. And we're going to start focusing that on like the outer corner. Okay. I'm kind of having a little bit of some patching issues with this shade. What the heck? And like, okay, so it's literally like to blend out into like nothing. Like, what is going on? It's literally blending blending out into nothing. It's really dark out here, and then it's like blending into nothing right there. Ugh. Okay. Alright. So I think just like packing it is probably going to be my best option here. I'm just going to bring it slowly, like right just into the crease. Not anything too crazy. And start lightly tapping it out. Maybe that'll work better. I just find this so odd that it's like a Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette, and I'm struggling with it that much. Alright, so I've next glitter glued primed my eyes so I can put on some shimmers. I'm going to try to use as many of these shimmers as possible. We have 4. I'm probably going to best get use out of 3 of them. So I'm going to start off with this like darkest shade right here called Night Creature. And this is going to be like my like center to outer corner lid shade. That's pretty. It's not bad. So then for like the inner portion of the lid, I'm going to go into Eleganza, which is this shade right next to it. And put that towards the inner and marry them like in the center. Alright, welcome back my kittens. So next up is we need to do some cream products. So first off, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start with, actually no, I was going to do bronzer first, but let's do the concealer. This is the Cos Concealer, Revealer Super Creamy Brightening Concealer. I have mine in 0.5 neutral. Let's see how well this goes. Okay. So far I can definitely like feel the creaminess when I put this on my eyes. Yeah, it feels creamy. It feels nice. Let's see here what happens when we start blending. So this is a brightening concealer. I do think it does like a slight bit of brightening. I don't think it brightens quite as good as my Huda Beauty one, like that new one that I tried recently. I think that one did a like phenomenal job, truthfully. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me get a little bit more of a closer in-depth look here. Okay. So I will say it's a very high medium coverage. I wouldn't necessarily go completely full coverage just because I do still see just a little bit of my dark circles peeking through. Not a ton, but it is very nice. It is very hydrating. Like my eyes look very luminous. You know, it's not overemphasizing any textures. I have fine lines like right here, but other than that, it's not like overly emphasizing anything. I do have fine lines, can't get rid of them. So I am going to have, you know, that those lines there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take kind of like a little bit of a dab more. Let's see if we can build this up. I don't feel like I need a whole lot more, and I'm actually gonna bring it down kind of, just because I want to see if I can brighten up the rest of my under eye area. Let's see, you know, like brighten your T-zone area just a little bit. So I'm gonna start working on this part because I want the most coverage to be on my under eyes. So I'm gonna focus on brightening up the areas that I want, which it does kind of. I wouldn't like say this is anything to write home about in terms of brightening, but I will say on par with like the foundation. It's really nice, really hydrating, dewy. It built up fine, like it built up nicely. You know, it doesn't look extra cakey where I built it up or anything. I just feel like I still can't get rid of like this little black area. So may not be the best buildable. Might be good if you have like a lot of like dark circles and things like that under your eyes to utilize like a color corrector or something like that. So next we're going to go into the Rose Ink Cream Bronzer. Mine is in Parrot K. I'm just going to take like this little like cream brush that we got from, it came in a Tremu box from Key Souls, and just start stippling this all around the cheeks. I really didn't think I was going to like this brush as much as I did, but I think it picked up the product like really nicely. Same as like this. I think it's picking it up really nicely, just stippling it in. Looking really good. Okay, I want to hear from you guys. What is your favorite cream product? It can be a cream blush, cream bronzer, highlight. What is your favorite cream product? And what is like your favorite, your all-time favorite? Like what's your all-time favorite like cream bronzer, cream blush, or cream highlight? Let me know that down below. I'm always interested to see what other people really love and to see if I have that in my like collection, and then be like, and if not, you know, and be like, oh, I have that. Let me test this out again, see if I love it, or if I already know I love it, being like I'm in agreement. But if I don't have it, to be able to like test something new out. I think that's always fun and exciting. So just test something just like new and fun. Okay, so now we have these one sizes, and they each come with a cream blush. So first, let me see if I can open it. This is okay, come on, Kirsten. So we have like this shade, which is very pink, I will say. That comes from the Freaky Peach. And then the next one, which is from, it's a little bit more muted. I think I'm going to go with this one. So I've color switched my brush, and I'm just going to take that exact same brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of like the cream blush. Oh man, I could not spit that out. And just start to stipple that on as well. Bring it slowly towards like the apple of the cheek, and then back some more. That's a really pretty color as well. And again, it's just sinking so nicely into the skin. I'm not gonna lie, I really love like this. I don't know why I just tapped that off as if it was a powder. I'm really liking this brush as well. I think it's a really pretty blush brush, and it makes like the products just glide on so beautifully. Take off like a little bit over my nose here, just like I just got a little bit of sun. So then for like the cream highlighter, we have this from Rose Ink. It says it's best with like a dense small brush or your fingers. So let me just like swatch this around with my finger. Interesting. Let's see what happens when I kind of start to apply that. Also, I forgot to say about these little like Rose Ink products is that they're refillable. So once you get done with this, you don't have to like throw away like the whole entire thing. Instead, you can just keep the packaging and just refill, which I appreciate. Okay, I think that's a really cute, like nice creamy like glow. This is nice. It's nice. Oh, maybe a little bit too much right there. Yep, too much. Oh, oh, oh. I did hear where you can like build it up for more intensity. Let's see how well it builds. Actually, I think it does build pretty nicely. Huh? Oh, wow. Okay. So next up, we have this from Huda Beauty. This is the setting powder. Wow. Even with like the sifter in, I have never opened this before. There's already quite a bit of product out. So let's start with just a little bit. So I know this is definitely known for like baking. I don't do a lot of baking, but we can definitely try it today. Like I don't know. Okay, maybe it's not really baking. I'm just like, just taking a good amount and just setting underneath my eyes. I don't know. Ugh. One thing I hate about like the whole baking thing is that like, or using this with your sponge, is that like it just takes up so much of the product. Okay, so then take a little bit more product. It's a lot. And take my brush around and just start setting all the areas that I would have powder products go. Okay, also, one thing I don't feel like I heard anybody ever talk about with this powder. Wow, is that wildly scented? Nobody's ever mentioned that, like how scented it is. Okay, I will say I think it did set it nicely. I'm gonna have to play around with it a little bit more with different concealers, but overall I don't think it looks awful. Like my cheeks look really nice and airbrushed. Looks a little bit heavy here. Also wanted to note where I had that highlighter. When I put the powder, like it just kind of pilled up. So I'm just thinking that maybe like the powder and the highlight don't go together. I don't know. I have to try that out some more. We'll have to see. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dive on into the bronzer. So we have this from House Labs. I feel like their products were kind of a little bit expensive, but it does feel nice and luxe. You have the cute H embossing. So I'm just going to take a little bit, because I don't know how much of this you need, and just start lightly stippling it and buffing it in. Okay. Okay, I think it's okay. I don't know. Okay. I feel like it looks like it's going to be like super cool toned, but when you put it on, it kind of goes like a little bit like red almost. I don't know if it's like, I don't know. And it's starting to look just kind of muddy. I don't know. Okay, well, let's try on the forehead. Let's see like what happened on the forehead. Maybe it's just not agreeing with all the other like cream products underneath. I don't know. Or in the blush. Maybe it's just not going together. Yeah, I think it has something to do with like the blush not going together. On the forehead it looks okay. Again, it looks just kind of a little bit red. Which let me swatch. But when you swatch it, it doesn't look quite red. But when you swatch it, it does look patchy. So maybe that's my issue. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so we have like a couple of like matte options. So we have this from Freaky Peach. I just want to go in with the matte because this is like a like blush and highlight duo. And since I already have a highlight that's supposed to be pretty intense, like as you can tell, it's definitely a highlighter type shade as well. I don't really want to go in with two separate highlighty products. Or we have this one from Fat Ass, which is this. Okay, let's go in with this. Okay. So I just picked some up on a blush brush, made sure to, you know, kick off any excess product. But it's applying nicely. I feel like it's looking pretty good. Pretty decent here. So the last and final product that we have to try is this from House Labs. This is like their baked gelée type of highlighter. And so here it is on the back of the hand. That looks really pretty. Doesn't look like it's going to overly emphasize any of my texture. I will say though that it does kind of have a little bit more glitter than like some other baked gelées that I have tried, such as like, I don't know, like the Pat McGrath one. Well, some of the Pat McGrath ones have a lot of glitter as well, but like the newer one that I tried didn't really have a lot of glitter. This one does have, you know, just some glitter in it, but look how beautiful that is. Like, that's so beautiful. And again, I don't really feel like it overly emphasized any of my texture. I think it looks really cute, really good. So first, let's start off with that darkest shade, that Extreme Aubergine. We're just going to start with that Extreme Aubergine, and we are going to have it coat the waterline. Now I'll take that lighter shade, that brown shade, and just start to kind of smoke it on out. For the inner corner, we're going to take this shade right here. This is the Skin Show Divine Glow. And that's going to go right on the inner corner. Hopefully it'll pick up good with a brush. It doesn't do too bad with a dry brush. Alright, so we are back for the completed and final look. What does everyone think of the final look? Let me know it down below. I'm actually pretty okay with how it turned out. I don't necessarily know this is probably like my favorite look ever. But I think that overall it's pretty decent. So let's go ahead and let's rank the products that I tried from my least favorite to my most favorite. So in terms of my least favorite, we're going to have to go with this Rose Ink highlighter. I think it's nice and, you know, creamy. And, you know, it did provide a nice, like, glow to the skin. I think that, like, my issue was, like, it just kind of, like, pilled up where I had placed, like, my foundation and stuff. So I wasn't in love with that. And then it says that you can build it for more intensity. I personally didn't really like that. When I built it up, it just kind of felt when it went on top of one another, it just was kind of pilly. And I was like, well, this is weird, because what you would think like a product should get along with itself, especially if you're advertising, like, build it up if you want more intensity. But I noticed it's just kind of just like, it was like pilly. So overall, that wasn't like my favorite. I think this would be like fantastic for just like a cream look only, not setting any powders, not going over with anything else. I think it might be okay for that. I would need to try it with a brush. Maybe it's just because I was using my finger that it wasn't the greatest. I don't know. Have to play around with that a little bit more. Next up is going to be this Pat McGrath Labs palette. Okay, well, we're here. This is $29. Okay, this is really tiny. You get 2 mattes. I think the brown matte worked okay. I really didn't have any issues with that. With this purple, as I was like blending it out, it would just blend into nothing. Like, it would just blend into nothing. But if I like packed it on, it was fine. But I sometimes like would want to be able to use the purple and just kind of blend it all over the eye and then go with a shimmer. But I have a feeling that's probably not going to be doable in this case. So yeah, I just struggled with that. The 2 shimmers right here that I tried were pretty decent. This darker purple is a little bit chunky, so just be mindful of that. But like this like very like first shade, I tried using it for an inner corner, and even when you swatch it, like I'll swatch it like right here, like it's just not very intense. It's just not. So to only have 6 shades, you only get 2 mattes. One of the mattes isn't really that great, and one of the shimmers isn't really that great. That leaves me with 4 shade options. And granted, this is only $29, but this is a tiny palette for $29. Moving into the next one is going to be the Haus Labs bronzer. I don't think this is like terrible. I was just kind of struggling with it for a little bit there. Like, it was kind of patching in some areas. It was kind of turning a little bit red in other areas. It definitely took some like layering and building, but even then it just feels kind of and seems kind of muddy in some areas, which I just may need to play around with this more. Maybe it's like the products that I use. I don't know. Maybe I should try it without any cream products underneath, even though that is the way that I typically apply my makeup and I enjoy applying my makeup. But maybe I just need to try that without. But I will say, like, this is expensive. Like, this is expensive. And with it being that expensive, it should be able to work with like anything. It just should. Like, some of my drugstores should not be able to outperform that for that price point. Next up is going to be the Huda Beauty Pound Cake Powder. I think this is a good powder. I don't necessarily know if it's love. Like, I think like my under eyes look okay. I mean, my cheeks still look really like airbrushed. So I like that. I don't know if it's one that I like for underneath my eyes, or maybe it was like the concealer and the powder that didn't go well together. I may just need to play around with this more, check out different concealers, figure out what goes best with this. I am kind of curious to see how well these will pair. So honestly, we might use that in a future video, testing out some makeup whenever I don't have like a concealer and new powder. So we can kind of see how that works together. All right, so then the next product is going to be this Rose Ink bronzer. I love how just like natural, lightweight this was. I love how it just sank into the skin. Like, it produced like a very beautiful color. I didn't feel like it was too orange. I will say it was warm, and I did state that when I first opened this, when I was like, this appears to be like a warm bronzer, not like a neutral, not like a cream contour. Like, it really was like a bronzer. But I don't feel like it was like way too much where it's like, okay, I'm orange now, like we can't come back, or like it's red, and or it was, you know, it wasn't like too orange, too red, but it also wasn't like too cool toned or too neutral. Like, it was perfect, especially for my fair skin. Again, mine is in Parrot K. I thought it applied beautifully with a brush, just stippled it on, and it really did just sink into the skin. Next up then is going to be this Cos Concealer. I really do like this concealer. I think it's really nice if you're wanting something medium coverage and you have to color correct with your dark circles. I think this is really good. I didn't have any issues with it. I will say it does, say to brighten. I don't necessarily know it brightened a ton, but also here's like my Huda one, which really brightened. And as you can tell, the Huda one is much more lighter than the other one. So it did provide like some brightening aspects. I wish it would have brightened a little bit more. Also, it's like a tad bit yellow for me, which I have heard that's kind of a complaint. I don't want to say it's like, oh my gosh, it's so yellow. Like, I can't even believe this. I wouldn't go that far to be like that. But I will say it is just a tad bit yellow. So in the second place spot, we have the Huda Beauty Haus Labs Beige Chalet type of highlighter. I think it's a really just like beautiful highlighter. It's not really emphasizing any of my texture. It just glided right on. Of course, I built it up to be a little bit more intense, but I bet you if you just kind of swiped it once or twice, you probably wouldn't have like the amount of intensity. I will say though, this does have like a little bit of like glitter reflex in it. So if you only want glitter reflex for special occasions, you would like this for that special occasion. If you're like, I don't want glitter in my highlights, like at all, this is not going to be for you. I will say it is a pretty hefty price tag. Again, I think it's a pretty hefty price tag, but I do think it's really good. I do think it's almost comparable to like the Pat McGrath, but not quite as expensive. So I feel like if you're like, I would like a highlighter from Pat McGrath, but I don't want to pay that price tag, I think that this would be a good option. Right? Like, you can't really tell the difference. Over here is Haus Labs, over here is Pat McGrath. Like, you can't really tell the difference. I think that they are very much very similar. So if you are definitely like, oh, I don't know, I really want to pat my brow with highlighter, I don't want to pay the price, check this out. That brings us to our numero one product, and that's going to be this little cheek clapper. I absolutely love these. I have raved about these. I think this is a fantastic product. Probably one of my favorite products from One Size. Like, truthfully, probably one of my favorites. I love the whole concept behind this. For me personally, I feel like this is genius. If you're somebody where you would love to just like travel and have like all your options in like one thing, this is it. So what I mean by that is 6 or 8. And what I love is you have a cream option. So if you just wanted, you know, a day at the beach, you just want some cream on your face, this is perfect for that. You have a cream option. You have a nice matte option as well. And again, it's very beautiful, glides on beautifully onto the skin. And then the next one that I like is a very just like shimmery option. So if you're just like, I would like a really nice glowy blush that almost acts like a highlighter as well, so I don't have to apply a highlighter. Maybe you don't want to bring a highlighter with you. Again, you just want something all compact in one. You have that because you can just automatically just like put this on and you would get that. You would get the color of the blush, but you would get like the glow of a highlighter as well. So I feel like that is just like, it's just like a perfect all-in-one palette thing, and I love it. I'm here. All right, so that is it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, definitely go ahead, give this video a thumbs up. That lets me know you enjoy. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell if you have not yet already, so you can join this dumpster fire. I also invite you to go follow me over on Instagram. But that is it. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!